YouTube, what is going on? Thanks for joining the channel. So I got a good one for you. Katie Porter. Listen, she is really awesome. She's in the House of Representatives. She does a lot of things because Congress can be very boring to watch. Like, it's just a lot of dry language and like old language and a lot of legal language. So it's like 3 layers of like boredom. And if you hear some cries in the back, I made the mistake of starting this video without feeding my cat first. So don't worry, that will be taken care of. However, you may hear some cries. I have the gain all the way up on this thing. Katie Porter, let's get back into this. So let's talk about what you are seeing in front of you. So what she does is she makes some of the guests to the House that are, providing, some their witness accounts, their answers to questions that members of, I'll just read it. Congresswoman Katie Porter has a reputation for coming up with sharp, innovative ways of questioning House hearing guests. And she came up with a new one by having witnesses play a game of Jeopardy with a twist. The House Oversight Committee, the House Oversight and Accountability Committee, held a subcommittee hearing on Thursday to address final waste in the Department of Defense. Now, I'm going to pause it right here because essentially what has gone on for, I think, ever is you don't really know how much money the Department of Defense and the Department of Defense, I'll just put it there, is really using and what it's being allocated towards. It's kind of like a bit of a black hole. And this is something that I've heard time and time again. And I am very happy that, we have people like Katie Porter that are going to ask questions, yes, and try to get answers, yes, but put it in a way that a lot of people can either understand or would be attracted to, like to watch. Because, I got to give her credit. She really does a great job of making this palatable, right? Like, trying to get the information out there, trying to get people on it. So yeah, I respect everything that she does. And quite frankly, there's a billion of these like clips, right, of her doing similar things, but they're uniquely creative, like each and every time. But they always include a lot of big visuals because she knows that she's not just talking to the people in the room, she's also talking to you, right? So she's doing her best to put on the show. This is one of the few people in Congress that I think is worth what they're being paid. So I'll take that for what you will. Now, let me go ahead and play this, and I'm just going to react to it as we go. I've seen it already, but yeah.
Let's get started, Mr. Tenaglia. Enablers for 100. A president who called how much we spend on defense crazy, but let defense spending grow by over $100 billion in one term.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Really? You don't know who called the defense budget crazy?
I feel like if someone else tried the stunt right there, they probably just would have went forward with the answer and moved on. I notice that a lot of the time with people in Congress, whenever they're grandstanding or pulling some type of stunt, which of course this is theatrics for sure. But in my opinion, it's very tasteful theatrics. And also she's still mindful of the conversation that is happening. She doesn't just move along blindly with whatever she had planned to say beforehand. Like, she checks back in with them. It's like, really? You don't know? You, of all people, don't know. So I like that.
Who is Donald Trump? Mr. Mansfield.
Enablers for 200.
Enablers for 200. A member of Senate leadership who
Hold up. Just how wild is it that she's getting them to do this? I know they've come before Congress and they're going to answer questions, but quite frankly, with everything, you know, I don't know. It does have a purpose, right? It does put pressure on industries, a little bit of pressure to change their tune somewhat, to let them know that the government is kind of like, aware of whatever's happening. But I feel like a lot of time nothing comes of it. But even still, I appreciate the people that are trying their best to make sure that you understand what is happening. And quite frankly, of course, there's legislation to be made, but that is one thing that is probably one of the most important things about her job. And I know she's a representative for California. However, quite frankly, she's educating the entire country as to what's happening with, things like this. And we, of course, all know the media, and I'm going to play this in a second. We all know the media, they need things like this to be, more, visually engaging and stimulating. I feel like she reads that very well, and she does play to it, and I'm glad that she does, because quite frankly, it helps me. I mean, I don't want to listen to just someone's diatribe. They just go on and they just rant and monologue, and they're not even really asking questions. There's a lot of people, especially Republicans, that are very guilty of that. They just ask questions. They barely even wait for an answer. You just mumble some type of answer very quickly, and they just, I already have my pre-prepared statement. Democrats, I'm sure do it too, but quite frankly, out of all of the clips that I've seen, it's kind of been Republicans. That's all I'm saying. Look, I have a distaste for both. Look, it's on the shirt. There is proof right here. I don't know. Let's get back to this.
Recently said funding the Pentagon at $886 billion would mean defense is radically underfunded.
I don't know the answer.
Who is Mitch McConnell? Mr. Khan, you can easily be the winner here.
I'll take waste for 300.
Great choice. Waste for 300.
Look, she's got that man in line. She's got him in line. I mean, come on. These are some powerful people. These are people that in their day-to-day lives take zero shit. Hopefully I waited long enough for YouTube before I, used a curse word. I don't even know how that works. If there's anyone out there that would be kind enough to just educate me, about the swearing thing on YouTube, because I mean, it rolls right off the tongue. So, but yeah, getting these people that are normally not going to take shit from anyone, take a little shit. But I mean, it's like she's making it fun, and they're playing along, and I think they like it a little bit too. Gamification is the name that people give it, and whatever, everything has a name, but there is something really good about adding a game element to communication and education. And we're all children. We're all children that have additional responsibilities, a few more life lessons, and we're just older. I don't know. But yeah, it's fantastic to see this, and I'm glad that they're actually going through and playing along with it, and as well they should. I mean, how could they not? Being government employees essentially.
Effective DoD assets that cost about $600 million to build and are now being decommissioned before the end of their useful life.
I'm drawing a blank there. Sorry.
What are Littoral combat ships, you're familiar with this program.
So I've heard numerous stories about programs that would build things like back in the day before like the Ukrainian conflict that's going on there with them in Russia. Of course, now there's like this need for tanks because it's Russia, right? They got a lot of tanks. That's the type of warfare that's fought in that way over there. But I remember years ago there was this kind of argument against why are we funding putting so much money into building tanks when that's really not the war of the future, right? Who knows? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but there was the question of was this like a practical move? Okay. I feel like this happens far too often. And if there was just more transparency with it, if there was more transparency and they just said, hey, we're trying this program out, it costs a lot of money. And listen, you also have to do your part too. When people are like, listen, we're going to do this, it's going to cost a lot of money. All right, fine, it's going to cost a lot of money. If you think we need it and we elected you and you were appointed by people that were elected and hired by people that were appointed and blah, 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 yeah, we should just, trust that that is in the best interest. But transparency and communication are the things that are needed. And if those things are not there, then, yeah, there's a bit of a problem when it comes to moments like this. If you have a program that costs millions or billions of dollars and that just kind of tanks, no pun intended, but I'm sure that if you asked 10 out of 10 American people, they would not know what these are. And of course, there are people that are going to hopefully flood. Please do flood the comments. Jeez, I'm hating on people that want to comment on the video. What am I doing? But yeah, there are people that would flood comments for maybe more popular YouTube people and say, oh, well, I know about this. I was aware of this because I was involved in this aspect of the program. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that have really just a severe disconnect with the military, which is the majority of American citizens, I feel like. Most people don't know really what goes on and the specific day-to-day stuff. And rightly so if they're not, involved in it or have, significant other or, household dwelling relative that is in the armed services that can, go over that type of stuff. But most people are just kind of ignorant to it. And when I say ignorant, I don't mean it in that negative context that people manufacture. I mean it in the genuine sense of the word. It's just you don't know. You don't know. I don't know some things. How about that? I'm ignorant to quite a many things. How about that? So can we, just personal one for me, if like and subscribe and all that stuff right now, just, even if you're watching on like some television or whatever, it's vertical, but if you're watching on television, just like the video, please. It helps. If you've made it this far, you clearly like the video. Just keep watching it. But thank you so much for your support and watching it this far. But yeah, let me just get back to the video. I lost my train of thought.
Mr. Tenaglia.
Enablers for 300.
Pardon me?
Enablers for 300.
Enablers for 300. Individuals who get rich while pushing to overspend our tax dollars.
I don't know.
Who are defense lobbyists? Mr. Mansfield.
Waste for 200.
Waste for 200. I'm really counting on you here, Mr. Mansfield.
Listen, I love that. And I know I've said that enough, but just, having that element of play with everything. And this is serious stuff. But I do enjoy, instead of those weird kind of moments that you see in politics where it's like you have two, people, two parties, they're diametrically opposed, they hate each other, but it's like you see in some back room, they're like, laughing together and shaking hands, and it's like, oh yeah, we're working together. It's all just a part of whatever. We're two sides of the same coin, right? And that I hate. I hate seeing that type of glee among people that claim to be like, bloodlusty, for bringing down whatever the other side has. And then you see them shaking hands together. That was a weird way to put it. I don't even know why I did that. This is live, but whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, I hate seeing that type of joy amongst politicians, but this type of play, I don't mind at all, because quite frankly, not only does I think it serve a purpose for us at home watching this, which, again, she's really, excelling in what the expectations are. Like, she's setting a different bar with this. But she's also, I think, lowering the defenses of the people that work for the Department of Defense. Oh, my God. Oh, I'm going to just play it.
Program that is $183 billion over budget and 10 years behind schedule.
What is the Joint Strike Fighter program?
What is the what?
Is it the Joint Strike Fighter program?
What? That's correct. What is the F-35 program?
They're playing along. And not to say that this is any type of secret. Again, the people that would rage in comments. And if you do want to rage in the comments, I'm not necessarily encouraging raging behavior, but I don't want to stop you from commenting. I will talk to you. How about that? Instead of, you just long things of you posting with me not really talking to you, I will actually talk to you. I'm checking my stream. Hang on 1 second. Making sure this is up to snuff here. I mean, my heart is skipping a beat right now. Come on. Okay. I think I'm still streaming. All right, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it alone. But, happened again.
Mr. Khan.
Missing guardrails for 200.
Missing guardrails for 200. The institution that has authorized more defense spending than the president requested for the current fiscal year. Who has authorized more defense spending than the president requested for this current 2023 fiscal year?
I would say it's the Armed Services Committee.
We'll give you that. Who is? Congress.
Listen, that was really good. He was thinking real hard. Let me go back. Look at him. He's thinking real hard right there. I like this guy. I don't know if he is part of whatever's wrong with what's going on. I mean, obviously he is, but you know what? Stand-up guy. I'm not gonna complain. They gotta do them. I gotta do me.
The Armed Services Committee.
Yeah, he was thinking real hard.
Who
Look at him.
is? Congress. Mr. Tenaglia, I'd really love to see you get one right here. I'm rooting for you.
Missing guardrails for 100.
Missing guardrails for 100. This one I think you're going to know. A review that...
Oh, man. This is kind of like a little... It's kind of like a little trap, because they're like, oh, we're playing a game. And she kind of let the guard down a little bit with those first few. But now it's like it's like a trap. Yeah. Now they're loose. They're answering questions, and actually, you know what? This one is no secret. Let me go back. Hang on. Everyone knows that this happens. Everyone that pays attention to this knows that this happens all the time. And look, if this is the first time that you're about to hear this information, I know I like to keep things lighthearted. If this is the first time you're about to hear this information, I would recommend spend more time in looking into certain things about the government and how it works and how the money is spent that you give it, right? Because this is, hey, let me just play this.
Mr. Tenaglia, I'd really love to see you get one right here. I'm rooting for you.
Missing guardrails for 100.
Missing guardrails for 100. This one I think you're going to know. A review that every agency has passed except the DOD.
What is an audit?
What is an audit? Correct.
An audit. An audit. Because you want to know where the money's going, right? What is being used for. That is the purpose of an audit. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that have been, on the bad end of the stick when it came to an audit. So I'm sure it's very invasive after, understanding everything that it entails. But the fact that they know that every year when an audit should be conducted and submitted, that it is not, they failed their audit, that it's like nothing's going to happen. And don't get me wrong, I severely hope that if some secret money has to be diverted because, I don't know, some crazy whatever is about to happen, I would like for, people to be able to do that. However, there needs to be some semblance of where the money is going. That's all I'm saying. All right? If people are going to complain about taxes, because the military is a huge expense. And if it's being spent frivolously, then yes, that erodes people's confidence in government's ability to govern. And there's, all right, God, let me pull out the soapbox. Let me just pull it out. People talk about big government and small government, and they're committed to the belief that big government is going to be very large and expensive, which, it'll be more expensive, but it'll also be wasteful. And that there'll be a lot of programs that won't benefit the individual paying the money. Look, I get that. I understand. That's my cat. If one of us isn't out there giving it all the attention in the world, his name is Obi. He's one of two. And then, of course he has to, sing the song of his people, as my significant other likes to say. But yeah, you're going to hear him throughout. Anyway. Lost my train of thought again. Oh, well. No, if you want to have confidence in your government, you want to make sure that whatever money that you're obligated to pay is going to go towards things that are going to ideally enrich the quality of your life, make things easier for you, offer you, more benefits, a greater level of safety, what so have you. But if, money just kind of goes into a black hole, even if it's for the best purpose in the world, like, what if we had to build a secret space fleet to combat the newly discovered aliens or whatever? Newly, relatively. Then, yeah, you would need a boatload of money. But, again, communication, transparency, but there's an obligation for you, the people. You have to, I don't know, understand, be, composed. I look over here, and I don't know if this is streaming super clear, but I'm looking at this monitor, and it could just be my internet because I can't get the internet provider that I want here. but like it was looking a little glitchy for a moment. Let me check on this.
Here,
Oh,
but like it was looking a little glitchy for a moment.
all right. I mean, it seems smooth. I got to check on it because I can't just be live for eons and eons and like there's no sound. And it's like, all right, well, whatever. Like why did I do that? And yes, I am recording this too, but I learned today, and this is a completely separate thing, and I did not plan to talk about this, but it must be discussed, and I will discuss it more on maybe a video tomorrow. So subscribe, and you'll hear more about this. But NPCs, like non-playable characters, you know, the characters in video games that you like interact with once, that only have like one thing to tell you. I'm just saying, there's people on TikTok that are portraying themselves as those things, and I don't know, I guess there's an industry in it. It's so strange, but I'm gonna talk about that another time. Right now, let me just finish Jeopardy. All right, we got to finish Jeopardy. Let's do this.
Mr. Mansfield,
We'll go with missing guide rails for 300.
missing guardrails for 300. This is a really good one. The percentage of DOD's assets that it cannot account for.
61%.
61%.
What is 61%?
Huh?
What is 61%?
What is 61%? So
Listen, respect to him too, because he said 61%, and then we all know in Jeopardy, or for those that watch Jeopardy, which I don't know why you don't. I mean, you don't need to watch it all the time, but you know, man. He said 61%, and then he remembered the rules, because the rules of Jeopardy, and the cable is banging against the mic. So if that's been bugging you, I'm gonna do it some more. Oh man! All right, yeah. All right. Let me fix this real quick. In Jeopardy, if you don't say the answer, but phrased as a question, it doesn't count, right? So you could say 61% and that'd be the right answer. But because the whole premise of Jeopardy is they give you an answer and you have to tell them the question, if you don't say it in the form of a question, guess what? Doesn't count.
I read the question wrong. The percentage of DOD assets that it can account for is 39%.
But that is how crazy is that? So, of all of the money that goes into this, they can only account for 39%. Are you hearing this? My cat, Obi, understands. Do you hear how angry he is? And you aren't angry? Come on! This is your money. You could be using this money for whatever you want. But of all the millions of dollars and billions over the years that the Department of Defense has received, and we don't know what most of it is for. Maybe there is a true Space Force out there. And quite frankly, God damn it, if the need arises and all of a sudden we just have the United States of America Space Force, and like we got a whole armada that can fight off the aliens, then listen, you know what? Let me just look. Sometimes my lips get a little chapped. I'm gonna put that on. But if that happens that way, then of course I'm going to be appreciative then. But right now, all I wonder is, what is this money going to? And thank goodness for people like Katie Porter for really digging into this, because who else is? Let me like this video real quick. Y'all, all right, listen. Like this video if, And I'm gonna like this video, and we all just need to start liking more videos. That's another soapbox, and I almost pulled it out. I almost pulled out that soapbox. But that one goes deep because I catch myself, and I went to school for theater, and I know I've said that in the last video, and I don't mean to make that a recurring theme, but it's worth noting in this conversation that I should have such appreciation to go out of my way, if I do truly like something, to hit the like button. And it's not like it's difficult, but, and I don't. And I've, in recent days, like the last couple weeks, maybe a month, I don't know, I'm starting to do that more and more. So, I don't know. Not just me, but it's like the whole thing. If you really do appreciate the stuff that you're watching, and if you really do like it, people put time and effort into that. And yeah, the view counts, and that's great. But yeah, that other stuff, man, I don't know how much that means. So thank you so much for everybody that's subscribed. I'm only 5 away from 100 subscribers. If you're still watching this video, if you are watching this video, if you have watched this video, thank you. But I'm only 5 people away from 100 subscribers on YouTube. And that is a super low milestone, but it's mine. It is my milestone. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish this up. It looks like there's only one more selection left on the Jeopardy.
You're right. Cannot account for 61%. Can account for 39. All right, Mr. Khan.
Is that double jeopardy?
Yes.
100.
This is it. Waste for 100. DoD assets that have been lost, damaged, or destroyed to the tune of millions of dollars based on a May GAO report. What are spare aircraft parts? We're out of time for Jeopardy DoD, and the winner here today should be the American people. Because no matter who uncovers the most waste, the important thing is that we provide long overdue oversight to the taxpayers.
Well, I mean, look, there it is. So, wait, hang on. There it is. What do you think? Right? What do you think of everything you just saw? And quite frankly, more importantly, beyond that, what is it that you plan to do to help aid people like that? Right? Because it's one thing to just, say, that's great. That's, man, like she got him, right? She had him playing Jeopardy and whatever. And of course, that's how I started this video, with the novelty of her playing Jeopardy with these people in Congress. But what does that lead you to do? He's singing the song of his people. He has a right to. I don't know. I'm going to end this in just a second to just make sure that he's fed. But, yeah, what are you going to do to support these people? How is this going to impact your voting decisions, right? Are you actually going to vote? Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I understand the shirt that I'm wearing right now. And I'm looking at options. And I'm going to make a separate video about that. However, I don't believe the current course of the last 2 administrations is the direction that we should be going in. I actually don't believe it. Oh my God. Now I'm about to pull out a 3rd soapbox. This is a 3 soapbox episode. This is some hot shit. 3 soapboxes. No, I have ideas about how things should be structured, and there are people that would love it and there are people that would hate it all the same. But quite frankly, there needs to be a different way of how we look at our processes, the way that we just have our society, structured is the word. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not even going to go in that direction. Not right now. That'll be a separate episode. Subscribe, like the video if you like it. I would love to know what you think in the comments. And I'm going to do my best to be very engaging, right? If you write something, I'm at least going to throw down a little likey heart. And throw it down right there. But I do like engaging with people. I do like it when I see a comment come in and then I have to reply. So yeah, I want to keep making this content for you. So definitely support the program. I'm going to actually, I don't know if I'm going to do another live video tonight. But there's my other channel, Green the Great, and I'll put a link to that in this. And it's like me going over this stuff with politics, but it's not politics. It's just something fun because I just need to do that because if you just follow politics all the time, it makes you dead inside. I don't know. I'm just talking, whatever. But yeah, Green the Great, that's another channel. There's a show that I forgot about, a game show. And jeez, it is so fucking crazy. It's unbelievable. But go over there, I'll show it to you, and we'll watch it together. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. And if any of this was corny, I'm sorry. I'm new to this type of stuff. But yeah, subscribe. And yeah, if you want to pick up some merch. Oh, God, I almost didn't talk about it. Merch. Shirt. You can support. If you do believe there should be an end to the two-party system, I feel like the clothes that we wear and the message that we send with them can be a very powerful statement. I used to work in an office where you weren't allowed to wear, I guess it was graphic tees at the time. But what I would do is I would wear a plain tee, and then I wanted to spread some election messages or whatever, you know, how to vote, when voting was taking place, just to make sure everybody knew, just so everybody did it. And so I literally I would take a solid color t-shirt and I would get some duct tape and I'd put it across the t-shirt, but I would write something on the duct tape, like, oh, election is this date. Don't forget to vote on Tuesday, blah, whatever. And I would write down on the duct tape and put it on the shirt. Anyway, you know, making a statement like that, don't get me wrong, it's kind of darky. I'm going to push my glasses up on that. It is what it is. But there were tons of people that had questions for me, real questions about things that would impact how they would vote. They didn't even know who was voting or what they kind of stood for, where to go for information, things like that. So, yeah, I got the shirt here. Check out the store. I'm going to put up some new designs soon, maybe a new design soon. I'm not going to overwhelm myself. But, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.